Hey everyone, welcome to a special stream with Matt Wilkins and myself. It's been a very long time since.
It's been a very long minute.
Yeah.
Let's wake Noah up.
Yeah. I will say this. We have been recording for like a couple hours now.
We've been talking for a couple hours. Recorded for 30 minutes for something for the website.
Yeah.
For next month on the website. And then we talked for about 2 hours.
Yeah. Basically.
Might as well make this a stream, baby.
Yeah, might as well. So
I love this idea, by the way.
Yeah, I threw a curveball at Matt a couple months ago. Original idea, I was like, maybe we should do a Saturday morning Samoflange, but this works better on my channel, I think, because I review all this stuff on here.
It's a great conglomerate here. I enjoy it.
And so we're gonna try to rank every Alien, Predator, and AVP film
all at once.
All at once.
That's where you got me, because at first I thought, I can rank those individually, and you said all at once. I had to do a quick rewrite here.
Mm-hmm. And we're not going to, of course, include the latest Alien film because it's not out yet. I don't even know what it's called.
I just found out about it yesterday. No, 2 days ago. I just found out about it. I didn't even know they were making another one. That's how much I'm disinterested with the series at this point.
Yeah. This is one of the... It's up there with the Halloween franchise. It's just a series of disappointments at this point. With a couple highlights. There's some highlights, and of course there's some great films. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this position. This isn't Puppet Master. You know, it's not that anomaly. So, would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
It's your channel, so I can go first if you want to, so that everyone can hear your number one last.
Yeah, let's hear your
so number 13. We're going backwards. There's 13. Because there's 6 Aliens films. Wait. There's 13 overall. There's 2 AVP films, 5 Predator films,
6
Alien films. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So and this is so hard to choose the absolute worst. And in God's honest truth is a 4-way tie. But if I have to pick crap of the crap, AVP was the biggest letdown of them all because we were in theaters with a bowl of popcorn. This is what we waited our entire lives for. Only Freddy versus Jason was what other people talked about. But above that was the dream matchup. Ever since we saw that Predator 2 had an alien skull in it, a little Easter egg, everyone fantasized what this movie would be like. This should be our number one. This movie should have been our number one because it should have been the best of the best. They should have lined everyone up who wrote, directed, and starred in this film and shot them all. It is the biggest bowl of crap nuggets I have ever seen on screen. While watching it, I was going, what is going on? This is beyond horrendous. And that's saying something, because these other ones I have are true stinkers. But the one that had the biggest hype, the most potential, this is why this one gets last place. It had the most potential, and it failed on every single level. It failed. 13.
Okay, so I thought about that one for my 13, and I really
did. There's 3 others that I will agree with you.
Oh, but my whole thing was I was not old enough to see it, even though it was PG-13. My parents did not allow me to go see that in the theater. I didn't see it I didn't see it till probably a year and a half to 2 years later.
Well, you thank your parents for not bringing you to the theater.
Oh yeah. And so I had to think. I thought of the second one, and I'm like, that one's pretty awful too. But then I was like, what is the one that I was most embarrassed seeing out of all of these? And because And it had to be The Predator. The Predator, I paid money to see it in the theater.
Yep.
Solely because I was grounded and couldn't see Predators in the theater, and I wanted to see a Predator movie in the theater. I went with a couple buddies, and that movie is the most unfunny movie I've ever seen. I don't know why who wrote a lot of Predator script for the original movie. You'd think he even know what he was doing, but instead it's just the worst. It's just the worst idea for a Predator movie ever. Also, we weaponize autism. What? So we got weaponized autism. We suddenly we spit into any lore that has been set up in any Predator medium ever, and the acting is bad from good actors, which sets it, in my opinion, lower than the other two I was thinking of, because I mean, one, there are no good actors in it at all. The other one, the only the actors are like okay. So like the Predator, most embarrassing, and it solely has to do with, it's not the most embarrassing theater experience I've had. It's definitely in my top 3 most embarrassing theater experiences.
Yeah. White Fang 2. I saw that in theaters. I don't really admit that in public, but why not?
Well, I mean, I saw The Rise of Skywalker in the theater, and I covered my face for more.
Oh, never mind. I proudly saw White Fang 2 and bought a T-shirt. I would never admit to going to Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, my number 12.
Yes, let's
tied. 4-way tie for worst ever. Mm-hmm. Alien Covenant. And this is why it pissed me off.
Okay.
I knew the entire plot from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it didn't surprise me, nor anyone. Sorry, I had a side pain there. If I die of a heart attack here on anyway. It's right here below her ribs. Anyway, it had no creativity, no imagination. Just crank the wheel and give the regular story. And when you think the alien's dead and gone, you know it's not.
Yeah.
It was like, I thought, well, wait a minute. Is the hook that the alien truly is dead and gone? Is that the hook? Because still, this is like beat for beat, exactly as I thought. And it's exactly as you thought. And so nothing, all the steps, all the surprises, you already know. I was sat there and for the first time watching a movie, you should be entertained. You should be surprised. I was none of that. It seemed like a retelling of every alien movie that came before it, using the same tropes, using the same beats and everything. But anyway, so that's tied for the 4 worst movies ever at number 12. What's your number 12?
Alien versus Predator Requiem. Primarily because you can't see what's going on in the film. Even though there were some good practical effects for the time, you can't see them. It has the worst acting of any of the films we're going to talk about by far. And it is just horrific to sit through. So yeah, less said about that, the better. And for the sake of these videos, I am factoring in unrated / director's cuts versus theatrical. And it didn't really change my opinion on like any of these.
Yeah. My number 11, tied for the 4-way worst.
Mm-hmm.
Prometheus.
Okay.
I watched Prometheus and I walked out of the theater liking it. Then in 24 hours, I realized nothing about it made sense. Absolutely nothing about it made sense. And then I was telling my brother that. I said, you know what? I liked it when I walked out of the theaters, and then I realized nothing makes sense. the wheel, the ship turning. They're running away from it. How about run left or run right? But you're running directly in its path. That made no sense. The guy who sends out the maps to map out the whole thing, he's the one that gets lost. How? You sent out the map. You showed on your screen you had the map. Did the screen go out? Did something happen? No, it's just funny that he gets lost. But what was the point of bringing him along if he's supposed to be the ultimate, navigator or whatnot? Nothing about what's his face keeping himself a secret that he's alive. It makes no sense. Nothing about the movie makes sense. And I know Red Letter Media came in and shredded even more, and they showed even more stuff that didn't make sense. I was like, you're right. I didn't even think about that. What was the point of this, that? It was just a pointless story. It was a pointless story that could have been something. Yeah, I know we're trying to go back to the first Alien movie where that big alien has a thing pop out of its chest,
Yeah. But they don't.
Oh my gosh. You could have made an interesting story about him. That pilot from Alien. That would have been wonderful. But instead, you gave us a WTF movie that is just there. People are breathing in it. That's all I can say. There's nothing justifiable about that movie. So it's number 11.
Okay. My number 11, AVP. It's embarrassing. It's not good. Even when they added the additional scenes for the director's cut, it still doesn't make sense. It's not good. Why if the Predator, the Yautja are they go for heat and conflict, why are they hunting in Antarctica? Why is there
no
a sense in Antarctica?
He teams up with the girl. Why?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to. But now he treats her as an equal, and they're running human and Predator together. It looked like a scene from the end of Batman Forever. Or Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Yeah.
It looks so lame.
In slow-mo. All the slow-mo was bad. It's terrible. Paul W. Anderson who directed those Resident Evil movies in Event Horizon, and you can tell immediately. It's bad. Nothing makes sense. It's badly paced.
It's terrible.
It's just terrible.
It's so terrible. Yeah, that's any one of those could be number. And then the last one that could be, I'm not going to stick to Matt. You think that's the worst one? No, I think all four of these are the worst. I'm going to agree with Jeremy and say the Predator is terrible. It's terribly dull. Yeah. It's a Predator movie, and it's dull. And just like Covenant, it offers nothing original. It offers nothing we haven't seen. It is devoid of moving forward. It is of giving us something new and creative. It is devoid of making fun of people with autism. Oh wait.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look who decided to show up.
Look at that guy. But anyway, the thing is, well, he didn't. My rotary phone was off the hook when he called, Noah. That's what happened. I forgot to hook it back on when I was doing my dial-up because my AOL only works when I plug it into my desktop. So I had the phone lines tied up. But then after that, I rotary dialed him back, and we hooked up and did it.
Went to the pager.
But for all the reasons you mentioned, on top of it being dull, unoriginal, uninspiring, it is garbage. And I agree with you. All four of these four-way tie, they're horrible movies. All right, number 10.
For you or for me, it's Prometheus. And
I agree with this. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I keep saying this, but this is the one the most. I have seen this movie more than once, and each time I get more confused. I don't get it. I don't get what happened in it. It's just like Ridley Scott just wanted to make a movie, and it doesn't look good.
But he didn't know what he wanted to make.
Yeah, he didn't take his brain medicine, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible. My number 9 is also terrible, but AVP2. Why do I rank it above VP1? Because they killed the pregnant lady, which I didn't see coming. That was a bold choice. I'd never seen anyone kill someone who's pregnant. Usually that means they're guaranteed safe. And when they killed the pregnant woman, I went, whoa, that was the one moment that excited me. Because it escaped being the absolute worst.
I hate all the subplots in Requiem.
You are dead on with everything you said about Requiem. The fast cuts, the dark lighting. You don't see what the action scenes are so close up because they didn't have money to film an action scene, I guess. And they're super hard cut. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And you can't see what's happening too because everything is in the dark. It is so terribly shot. It's awful. But like I said, them killing off the woman and the guy from Rescue Me going from straight comedy to, Predator to AVP horror. I was like, what was that? Jolting. But you're right. They had strong actors that couldn't. I don't think they knew what to do.
Yeah.
Delivering pizzas during AVP2. What else are you supposed to do? But it is okay. See, there you go. Yeah. Anything greater than Requiem. Requiem's just terrible. But because of that one scene, I was like, whoa, that surprised me. I didn't think they'd do that. They went off, but that's the only scene that's good in it.
But I think
that's why it avoids the other 4 movies, which had nothing enjoyable in them.
Yeah.
But the AVP2 is terrible, just like you said. But it just had that one scene that I enjoyed, and that's the only reason it makes it to number 9. This is not a high hill they have to climb here.
Oh yeah, no. For me, my number 9 is Alien Covenant, solely because of 2 things. The first is that Michael Fassbender kisses Michael Fassbender, and that's so bizarre, and it's clearly his choice to do that. And Ridley Scott allowed it to happen because he didn't take his brain medicine again and made another Alien movie. The other is, from the trailer, I knew it was going to be terrible because it opens with shower sex and a xenomorph coming in. And I'm like, oh, it's just like a Friday the 13th movie. I guess
it's Psycho meets Alien. It is so uninspired. It is so uninspired. It is so uninspired that. And here's the thing. It's so funny that our 13 through 9s were the same movies, just in different orders. I love that.
Yeah.
So we're in total agreement with this. I am not going to hold it. This is like picking my favorite out of the 2 WNBA teams. I don't care. They all suck. So they all suck. They're all garbage. So I'm not going to fight over any of these. But I think it's funny that the same lot of 5 movies were in our bottom. So now we're climbing out of the muck, and we're into the region of, at least it's not these movies.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say now. So they have more redeeming qualities. They're still not good, but they have more redeeming qualities. My number 8 is Resurrection, Alien Resurrection.
Same here. Okay.
Oh, really? We got the number 8 the same.
Yeah.
Okay. We can both talk about this because there were some interesting facts. I'm not upset that Sigourney Weaver's back in it. I like that.
Yeah, and I like she's a different character, too.
I like she's a different character, too. Honestly, I like the crew. The crew's interesting. I never know the guy's name. I call him Top Dog from Crow.
Yeah.
He's great. You hardly see him anymore. He was in that. Ron Perlman's great in it. The crew is interesting. They're just like the crew from Aliens. They're all Alien. I mean, they're all interesting. They all have character development. They look good.
They have a couple interesting set pieces with like the underwater fight.
It looks great.
The ladder fight. I think that some of the acting is just overacting, which is kind of, especially from Ron Perlman. He's chewing the scenery, and it's so wonderful.
Well, he's supposed to be that eccentric character that sticks out, and I love that. And everything about it is really good. And of course, I think we both agree the reason why it ranks this low, too bad they had to film that ending.
Yeah.
Mama. Oh no, what? What happened?
What?
And I get they're trying to do the human alien hybrid thing. Please don't, because it looks stupid.
Here's the thing, Matt. They originally because the director's French, which is funny because this is the only Alien movie that was primarily filmed in America, and they got the one director that didn't speak English, but he wanted, and they made it that weird suit with that human alien hybrid had genitals, and they had to CG them out because they wouldn't give it an R rating. And it gets sucked out the window, and it's disgusting. It's easily the most disgusting thing in any of these movies.
Yeah, but
it's just like weirdly mean. And
it's like overly torturing like, what did he do? He did nothing. He's not the ultimate villain. If it was an alien that was trying to kill him the whole time, we want it to die violently.
Well, he ripped that one guy's brain out, but no one cared about that character.
Yeah, no one cared about him. But the thing is, I don't know. It just went off the rails at the end and was a total disaster. It's like eating, like, you know, it's eating a pound of fast food and deciding to go on this roller coaster and thinking that's a great idea. But by the time you've taken the fourth loop, you're like, this was not a good idea. That's the end of the movie. You're like, hey, this is fun. No, not fun anymore. Blah, you know, it's so bad. But that's funny.
And all the Ripley attempts to clone Ripley. I hate that scene.
Yeah, there's some definitely missteps. Yeah. But like I said, base setup, how it went, some of the action, some of the scenes, the characters, it had a lot going for it.
Oh yeah.
It didn't plant the landing, as they say in gymnastics, you know. Yeah. So my number 7 then, maybe our number 7, I don't know. Predator 2.
No.
Okay. The reason Predator 2 ranks this low below everything else there is, again, there's a lot of things I enjoy about Predator 2. I like that Bill Paxton is the only person to die at the hands of aliens and a predator. I like the want some candy. That's great. That's a great line. That's a new great line for them to say. One of these near futures. Those are
that has to. I have a theory about this, and it has to do with the original idea was it was going to be a buddy cop thing between Arnold Schwarzenegger and possibly either Patrick Swayze or Steven Seagal, which then became a Steven Seagal just wanted to do it by himself, and they said no. So he did on what was that one? I can't remember, the one where he fights all the Jamaicans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which came out the same year. Then they got Danny Glover, and then what ended up being the Arnold script became the Concrete Jungle comic, which they take a lot of stuff from that and they throw it in Predator 2, which is why they set it in the future, I guess.
Yeah, and that it was just off a little bit. I love that they showed new things from the Predator, new items, and him healing his arm and stuff like that. That stuff's really cool. Of course, I love the musket gun, showing they've been here for years. Of course, I love the alien ship with the alien in it. I love that. I love that there's I love the ending is pretty deep. It's pretty good. Danny Glover's not the man you want. I know he was in Lethal Weapon, folks. But he's the action star. He's never been the action star. Yeah. He should have been the buddy. He shouldn't have been the main. The main guy needed to be someone younger, hipper, cooler, with some more action. Exactly. Noah. That's all you think about, because he'd been saying that in Lethal Weapon already.
Yeah.
So the thing is, poor choice of a lead is really the biggest misstep.
Uh-huh.
There are some other missteps with the near future thing and some of the. I love Concrete Jungle. I love that idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the thing is, there's a few missteps there, and they have that awful wardrobe that I can't get over. Some of the wardrobes is so terrible. But
it's
near
so
future,
early 90s.
It's everything. They had no idea what 1999 would look like.
Oh, it's
1991 or whenever it was.
97, yeah.
And again, it has some good. everything else about it is really good. If they switch out the star and kind of do away, if it could have been just regular 90s in the day, I'd have been fine with that. So just a few small missteps. Good movie, decent movie, definitely better than anything else I've named. But it ranks about here in the middle at number 7. What's your number 7?
Predators, and I'll explain why. Okay. So this movie, everyone wanted a Predator 3 for like a really long time. They wanted the Danny Glover, Arnold Schwarzenegger team up. They did not get that. Instead, they got, oh gosh, what is that actor's name? It was in The Pianist.
From The Pianist, Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody got all roided up.
Yes, he did.
And he talks like this. He talks like
he put on his Batman voice.
Yeah, he talks like Christian Bale and Steven Seagal had a baby. Like it's just bizarre. He's like this tough guy that is unlikable. Well, they're all like the worst criminals, get kidnapped by Yautja and thrown on a game preserve planet. Interesting idea, but none of these people are likable at all or interesting for the most part. And then you top it off with Robert Rodriguez produced this on a cheap budget, and the effects are worse than Predator 2, which came out like 20 years prior. Like all the heat vision effects, they're super CGI. They look bad.
They look a little off. I agree with you. Yeah, I didn't think.
Whenever there's a practical effect, it looks good, and I do like that they have like the cricket monster that was supposed to be the original Predator design is in there.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it had been Jean-Claude Van Damme in the suit like it was when they started filming Predator, but yeah, it to me it's not that good. Although Lawrence Fishburne is incredible in it as a crazy person. He's probably the best part of it. But like, it's meh. There are better ones on the list, but we're getting there.
We'll get there. All right, we're gonna get there. All right. Number 6 is Alien 3. I love the title, by the way. I love Alien 3. I like Alien 3.
This is also my number 6.
It's also your number 6. Mm-hmm. Alien 3 is a great story. It's a great idea. I applaud them for not making a sequel to Aliens that was not exactly like a. Yeah. Everyone wanted Aliens again. And they said, no, we're not going to do the Marine concept. That's been done before. Mm-hmm. Let's put them on a prison planet with people with not much weapons. They got to do with what they can. Let's make some weird dog predator. It did suffer from early 90s CGI.
Oh, yeah. The marionette on a blue screen. Yeah, that's bad.
And it's aged poorly. And bad CGI. But it was bad CGI back then, too.
Oh, yeah. It never looked good.
It never looked good.
The proportions are never correct with the alien because suddenly when it walks up the. You remember that the what's iconic from that is when it walks up to her.
Oh yeah,
walks up. It's significantly smaller than when it's the stunt double in the suit.
I know the size is off because they didn't know what the CGI was going to look like. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
because in my opinion. That's the only thing that was bad about this movie. I like the rest of the movie. My brother likes this one a whole lot. I think he'd rank this one even higher.
Oh yeah, it's well directed. It's David Fincher.
He did great. He did a great job. The characters seem realistic. Everyone was upset because Bill Paxton didn't come back or
Michael Biehn.
Newt. But the thing is, bravo, they died during the crash. Wow, that's solid. Bishop is in it only in little bits and pieces, but you know what? You don't need to have a repeat characters of the past. Mm-hmm. Stay with the main character and have her story continue, and the old characters are gone. I'm fine with it.
And it's about human suffering. Yeah. And I will say, probably out of all these movies, this is the best acting in any of the movies we're talking about. These are some of the really great actors in this. I think that I will talk about cut comparisons here because this is the one where it differentiates. I prefer what they call it a director's cut, although David Fincher has distanced himself because he had a horrible experience. He didn't get final cut on the film. and it was just very miserable for him, and so he never talks about this movie anymore. But I call it like a rough cut because there's certain scenes in the director's cut that are unfinished, and they have like they never ADR'd the dialogue back in, so it has subtitles in. But that is the better cut to watch, and the big difference is the xenomorph comes out of a yak instead of a dog, and they cut the whole dog thing out, and I think it works better. And like it was actually a dead yak that they pushed this puppet out of. It is so disgusting looking, and it's probably the most real that a chest burster scene has ever looked. But like this movie is just edited badly, and it's disappointing. You want the happy ending for Ripley, but I like that how bold it is that it doesn't go that
I enjoyed the ending. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a good way to end the whole series. Mm-hmm. And at first, just like everyone else, you're mad because it's not Aliens. Yeah. But over time, I grew to appreciate it and said, you know what? Good choice. I like bold, different directions. They went a different direction. They showed us people who don't have the tools to defeat the aliens. We had the massive guns and everything, but we don't need that this time.
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I gotta talk about the score for this movie. This is the best score out of any of these movies.
By far, yes.
Oh my gosh, it is beautiful. It is haunting. It is epic.
It's really it has everything in it. It really is the total package. If the CGI, if they could have just avoided CGI, I don't know what's wrong with using. Look how good Aliens holds up today.
It has a few bad optical shots, but it's better than this. This, when they use any computer post effect, it just looks wrong. It looks.
And I'll be honest, it's a great scene where Ripley's doing this, and the creature's getting close, and it's dripping water sliding. Yeah. That's a classic cinematic scene. I love that shot. Uh-huh. There's a lot of good things that Aliens 3 has in it, and it's very underrated.
Yeah.
We're coming for me, I'm coming out of the woods on these bad movies now, and I'm getting to movies that this one just has one flaw, or it'd be among my top 5 best.
Yeah.
So number 5 for me was one you mentioned. I love Predators. You're not supposed to like them. They're all despicable characters. Yeah. I like how they fall from the sky. They don't know what's going on. It's kind of like a little bit of Lost. I don't mind. I know they had to go on the cheap. I don't mind the cheapness of it because they're obvious on an Earth-like planet. And they do cheap little effects in the sky, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. Yeah. I'm fine with the Predator hunting down these other killers. The little twist that the doctor, who's obviously not supposed to be there, you find out he is supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That was nice. Everything. And by the way, before we hadn't seen him since the 70s show. So he's always the geeky little guy. He's never played the villain.
Yeah.
So that was a nice twist. So there's a lot of things. There you go. But that was really nice to see. And for me, I really enjoyed. I love they brought the dogs in. I thought that was great because I knew the history of that too. I was like, bravo for them incorporating a little bit of the.
Because they do better than they did in The Predator.
Oh, much. Oh, goodness gracious. This movie beats the pants off The Predator. But for me, I came out of this one pleased. I was so worried. I was so scared this was going to suck. Predators? Oh, no. Marines going after predators? Please. But no, it was not like that. Uh-huh. And I thought the performances were well, and I really enjoyed this. That's why it's in my top 5. I really thought it was a solid film. So what about you? What's the top 5?
Prey. We're going to talk about Prey and how impressed I was with this movie. It is minimalistic. It is, I love the feral Yautja and its weird, different technology. I like that we have the quote-unquote girl boss character, but she's actually competent. There isn't like bad writing to make all the men like terrible for the sake of making her look better.
Yeah.
And that she earns her way into like hunting the Yautja. I like that they don't make it like crappy American white people oppressing the natives. It's French because that's historically accurate. I love that the French guys they make like a final stand and they just don't get the technology of the Yautja. They just get slaughtered.
Yeah.
I love that it's her wits that end up prevailing at the end. It feels very much like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all of the Predator sequels, it's the one that really gets the tone of the original the best.
Mm-hmm.
And it does its own thing. It does, and it has. Although they retcon some continuity from the comics, it does have continuity with Predator 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's well acted. If I have one complaint, and it's just me being like a history nerd, I wish that the native peoples were speaking their language. But I get that this is an action movie, and someone has to speak English because it's an American film.
Yes, you have to have that, unfortunately. All right, my number 4 is going to disappoint Jeremy, I think. That's number 4. But Alien.
Oh, okay.
I love all these movies. I love. Okay. Alien is excellent. All this crap about it's too slow paced. You're watching the wrong movie. This movie is perfectly paced, and that there's a reason why this movie is so popular. It got the legacy treatment like it's still getting today, because it's masterfully made.
Mm-hmm.
It's just masterfully made, absolute masterpiece. Characters well crafted. You feel the camaraderie on the ship. You feel the terror gripping you as you don't know. You go through the emotions that the crew is going through. The sheer horror at the end of it, from Sigourney Weaver's character, is what you're experiencing too. I mean, it takes you on that ride, and it does not let you go. It's a flawless film. There are just 3 more that I enjoyed more.
Okay.
But it is absolutely flawless. It's a 4-way tie for number 1, in a way.
Fair enough.
You go. All right, so number 4 for you.
Predator 2.
I was wondering when this would pop up. Why is it number 4? I'm interested.
So Predator 2 is your typical Hollywood sequel. It's bigger. It's got more going on. The opening, I think, is one of the best action openings ever, with just like chaos in the streets. People are getting murdered left and right. Danny Glover takes a police car, reverses it while the door's open to knock the door off so he can hang out the side, because the other side's full of bulletproof vests, and he drives out to protect the injured cops. And then he jumps out with the 12 gauge, and he just kills a bunch of people.
Which would have been way more exciting if Bruce Willis was doing it.
Yeah. It's miscasting, but I like that Danny Glover got his time to do that. He
did,
with his weird hairpiece. That you can't tell me that's his hair.
Oh man!
But I love that this movie was so violent and just so over the top. They had to edit it down from NC-17. You can kind of tell. That's why it doesn't get ranked higher. Bill Paxton's great, but the person who steals the show in this movie is Gary Busey.
Oh yeah, he's excellent in it.
His line delivery is perfect, and he sets up a plot line that will be going forward in the Predator universe.
And the thing to me is, honestly, the miscasting of Danny Glover. You cast anyone else, and this probably makes it into my top 5 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take Danny Glover over Steven Seagal in this role.
Absolutely.
Keto on the Predator.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
But
number 3 for me is Prey.
Okay.
I was very surprised on how good that. I thought it was going to be absolute garbage.
Yeah, me too.
After the Predator, I had zero faith in any future stories. And because I've seen it, when you lose your edge, you're done. They're not going to bring it back. But this one did, and it brought it back on such a large scale. I have not. Have you?
Yeah, you can check out my reviews. I fundamentally hated CSROs. I thought it was terrible, but apparently I'm in the minority with that one. A lot of their stuff is more, it's like with the modern Star Wars stuff where it's just diversity politics and then they write an alien story around it, which is frustrating. Every once in a while you get a solid one, like Tim Lebbon's Rage War trilogy is really weird and creative. And worth your time. That's a whole AVP event though.
There you go.
But yeah, I just reviewed Alien Prototype by Tim Wagner, which has some major continuity issues with its own book. It's very clear that like they probably should dial back Alien content and get more quality over quantity. You know, as you can tell by our list, these franchises don't believe that.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
But going back to, thanks for the question. Going back to Prey, I agree with you. This is how you build a strong female character. This is exactly what you do. I loved her in this. She was believable in this.
Yeah.
The older version of a Predator, excellent. Loved everything about it. Flawless. And by the way, when I watched this with my nephew and my wife, I did not tell them it was a Predator prequel.
Oh.
They did not know. And I let them be surprised, and their mouth hung open when they saw what it was. They went, "Did you know?" I went, "Yes, I did." But I wish I hadn't have known.
Yeah,
because it is a wonderful movie. I told you about this, and we were talking about this. This is how every Predator movie should be now. It should be Predators through time. You know, what were they doing the French Revolution? What were they doing caveman days? What were they doing the Wild West? Like Dark Horse did a lot of those stories back in the day.
Oh, you know, yeah.
I just a bunch of knights in shining armor fighting a predator. I mean, I definitely am interested in to seeing historical pieces where the predators have visited us, because we know they've been here for years. And of course, they show the bright, shiny pistol that is in two, that's old in two, musket, and everyone's like, wait a minute, contradiction. How come they kept the musket? They didn't. If you watch the credits, the cave drawings show that the alien predators came back and wiped them all off. The planet, which I thought that was great. If you look at the cave drawings, there's a bonus scene that you see what happened is eventually they all died. The predators came back and killed them all. That's why I like. I wish they would have, to be honest, maybe one misstep in the movie is they should have died. The hero should have lost. That would have elevated this movie a lot for me. It's already a great movie, but if the hero would have lost, and that's the first time we would have seen that in a Predator movie, you know, I'd have been all for it. But I mean, for what it is, I think everything about it was awesome. Awesome. Loved it. That's how I want no more Predators in the future movies, no more Predators in the present day. I don't need any of that. I want to see a Predator, you know, fighting during the Civil War, or, you know,
like World War I. There's a great 2-issue series called The Bloody Sands of Time, and it is a French soldier's accounts of seeing Yautja in the trenches of
I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. Like the ship gets hit by shell fire by accident. It's cloaked, but it gets hit by shell fire by accident and crashes. So good for you. Wait, Brennan, we're not done. We're not done ranking yet, Brennan. Anyway, go ahead. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Aliens. And this was a tough one, but ultimately what broke down my top 4 were how well the effects and scripts held up. Because the acting, in my opinion, is superb in all 4 of these films. But ultimately, with Predator 2, we have some continuity errors where the Predator takes his mask off and then he still sees the doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's clearly they ran out of money and they didn't want to animate another.
That's it. Yeah.
But with Aliens, there were a couple weird. I've said them before. James Cameron was obsessed with weird optical effects in the 80s. That was his obsession before he found CGI, where he would superimpose things. Like he would do what's called rear screen projection. It's an old Hollywood technique of you project another piece of film over what you're working on. And there's a few weird shots of that in Aliens with the power loaders. But otherwise, I think it's a superb action film. I mean, you think, okay, we got these trained Marines. They're going to be able to take on the aliens. Well, if you watch the theatrical, you're thinking, oh, there's only going to be like one or two of these. And then they go in the nest. And it's like, there's all these colonists have been infected. And these trained professional killers are just almost all annihilated. It's like, it's one of the most shocking things. It's a great action set piece. The fact that we've had this little kid that's just been surviving just on her wits alone. And then we get like a nice family dynamic between her and Ripley. Ripley's given more character development in this. Probably, honestly, the most character development Ripley ever got. Especially if you watch the special edition with where we find out her daughter died of old age. It's just sad.
Yeah.
The fact that the Weyland-Yutani, the company, is still like doesn't care about anyone, is willing to sacrifice all these people just to get a specimen. It just, everyone's cast perfectly. It's a solid action film. But my other two, I think, are slightly better.
All right. I love that. My number 2, Predator.
Same.
The original Predator is it is so good because it's a group squad, and every character is so well developed that by the time they're getting cut down, you're like, oh no, because they've each been given character in the short amount of time. No one does this in Hollywood anymore. There's so many generic, faceless, you don't care people.
Yeah.
And just look at how they did it back in the day. Look at how they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I just love everything about it. It's so quotable. It is the movie of a million quotes.
Yeah.
But classic ones that everyone knows. Everyone knows these quotes.
Quotes that we can't say because Matt's kids are here.
Yeah. Well, get to the chopper. There's one. And I ain't got time to bleed. Those are some I can cut. But even David cutting his chest, getting ready for the alien. You don't have to see this fight. We don't need a massive knife fight, a cool little thing where he gets cut and ripped open. And
you need like monitors.
We don't need that. All we need is a blood-curdling scream.
Yeah.
And then Arnold turns and they run. We don't. Please, people in Hollywood, watch this movie and take notes, because this is the stuff that works. And it seems so far we don't know what works in our life. This is the thing about filming live. Anyway, we don't know what works anymore. And Predator works mowing down. Here we go, guest star here. Mowing down the forest just because you can't see anything because you're scared.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be. It's a great scene.
I just love that this was filmed on location in Mexico, and that they had to actually deforest part of the jungle so they could actually move the cameras because that's how dense the jungle is there. I love the detail in this. I love when we see Arnold and his team go in and they just mess up those terrorists.
Yeah.
But the Yautja is better than them and picks them off one by one. It's perfectly written. It's perfectly set up.
It builds perfectly. It doesn't wait too long. It gives enough simmer, enough mystery to build up. and it really gives a payoff when you first see him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything about this is perfectly paced. It's a great movie. Like I said, it's in my top 4 here. Number 1, I knew what yours was. That's why I said I apologize to you. But my number 1 is Aliens. A lot of the reasons you said, but again, they did another great job of you care about all of these Marines. Mm-hmm. I love the Marines. I love Bill Paxton at his finest. We're all gonna die, man. That's just great. Yeah. Everything about him is awesome. Everything. All the cast, is just so great. Rios or whatever her name is. Everyone I love. Of course, Sigourney Weaver gets a spine now. She's going. Mad About You is a villain, the corporate, greedy guy that gets his comeuppance. And the queen alien, the idea there's a queen, just like a hive queen and stuff like that. Yeah. The aliens are given more screen time, which rightfully so. We don't need to build up. We already know what they are now. But to add to, like, the Queen Mother was something they came up with, and that's been a big thing ever since. It's always about killing the queen in the comic books.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about that. But, and the queen is this giant one. I love it. I love everything about it. And that she's in that little big construction thing, find it at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense. And you were on the edge of your seat while you're watching. Oh, when the little tail comes up out of the water or whatever behind it. That's just great stuff.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
You don't need to see that. Newt going, it's so great. She's the only survivor. She's silent. That was the only film that girl ever did.
Yeah. And she became an elementary school teacher.
Good for her. But the thing is, it's so good. Mm-hmm. It's so quotable.
And she gets so much money from just this one role.
Good for her, because the movie is fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's the best one for me, even though I love my top 4 as a whole. But that is my number 1. Your number 1, sir,
is Alien. I think this film's perfect.
I agree with you.
It is. It's got the best set design. It is terrifying still. The title is perfect. It is just bizarre. The whole the xenomorph life cycle. The fact you're not given all the information, which today they would spell it out for dumb people. You got to use your brain a little bit.
You don't know what the face hugger's doing. It looks grotesque.
Yeah, the dinner scene with the chest burst was shocking. The fact that the whole ship was one entire set that interconnected, which is insane.
It looks great that way too. It feels realistic.
It is claustrophobic.
It is one of those things that everyone takes for granted. But when you have one big set like that, they film, it gives more realism. Because now you don't have to say, if you're setting up hallways just as one scene, where's this hallway supposed to go? Like Star Trek has a lot of those problems.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, how they get to here, to there, to there, to where? But they built up this ship, and everything is where it should be. It looks great. Even the scenes in the kitchen where they're just showing stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's building character.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And the movie takes its time, but not too much time.
No. It knows when it's okay. Now it's time to step it up.
And just the discovery of things, and then the end is just perfect. It's really good. It's a slasher movie in space, but it's one done by someone who had never done horror before up until then. Ridley Scott. He had only done like one film before that, and that was The Duelist. If you've ever seen that, that's a good movie, but completely different film from this.
It's too bad Ridley Scott only helped with one film. It's too bad. I really wish he would have helped with other films.
Yeah, he was too busy.
Whoever's overseeing the new films, that must be an imposter.
Yeah.
How does Ridley Scott approve of the other crap, Covenant, Prometheus? How does he think that's good when he made a movie that was excellent. This man should know better.
Well, it's like that's a whole nother topic dealing with
Yeah, it is.
when he just started making garbage. I blame Hannibal. That's like his first bad movie. Did you know
he made that one? I
Yeah.
forgot he made that one.
And that one's not even, it has its moments of really good. But like, yeah, when you get to his modern work, well, I think I've heard his Napoleon movie's pretty good. I have not seen it. But yeah, he's made some of the greatest films of the late 20th century.
What one moment, keep talking. I gotta grab someone real quick. Keep talking though.
Yeah, it's very weird that his like it's the same thing with like Steven Spielberg's made a bunch of garbage recently, or like Coppola. It's like you get to a certain age and you just start making trash. It's like a requirement. And John Carpenter's worst movie was his last two movies.
John Carpenter, that's another guy. What happened to him?
He gave up. He makes more money off when they remake his movies. He loves it. Like,
you want to know something? Vampires. That was a great idea.
But
boy, it went wrong.
Yeah. Well,
boy,
Ghosts of Mars. Ghosts of Mars, or The Ward with Amber Heard, the true scariest thing he's ever worked with.
It's insane. Insane.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right, come here. We're going to have to end. You get yourself stuck there, bud. Come here. Come here. All right, come here. Hold on. We've gotten tied up on something. And a face hugger has her. Hold on. Oh, but what did you do? Did you try to put this on? What are you doing with your life? Okay, there you go.
All right, we should probably end it here.
That's it. On that note, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being
on. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was fun. Brennan throwing prey at number 11. That's why you won't have any
Did you see where we have to talk about his number 5 choice? Well, Brennan, we're throwing shade at you for that.
Brennan, I don't know if we can be.
Oh my God!
No, I think he meant Predator, because he says Predator, the Predator remake down below.
Oh, okay.
But I think he meant Predator at number 1.
I had I had a near heart attack.
This is the man that picked AVP as his number 5.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's okay, Brennan. I'm glad you're different.
Yeah, the beginning of Vampires is awesome.
It was good. Yeah, I know. The premise of it is excellent, but it just did not work. And that's when I realized we may have a John Carpenter problem.
Yeah.
But the Thing, still terrifying today.
Oh yeah. Or how about
terrifying?
You know what I saw recently was Prince of Darkness.
Oh, it's been a long time.
That's a weird one. That's probably his
most
weird
one. I remember that one.
I think at some point we'll have to watch all of his films, including his 2 made-for-TV ones, and rank them.
Why don't we just watch the good ones again?
His made-for-TV ones, his Elvis movies.
I would probably, maybe watch Vampires again.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't know.
Maybe Ghosts of Mars. I may watch that one again.
I don't think I can sit through The Ward.
Oh my gosh!
With the Amber Heard, I can't stand her face at this point. I had to.
Oh yeah.
I watched all those Amber Heard trials, and I don't want to see anything ever again.
No, yeah, I don't. But yeah, so this is fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Anyway. Have a good one, everyone.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.